Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking my perfectly fine running and driving car and making it, well, not that. So yes, it is finally time to pull out the 2.8 V6 again. I've actually had this out 3 times before, but that's besides the point. If you guys have been watching the channel, then you know that we are doing a series on installing this supercharged V6 into my Fiero. And in the last episode, we actually finished putting it together. So now we need to move on to the car and get it ready for the engine. The 2.8 that's in this is the original V6, and it's honestly treated me pretty well. I've put almost 50,000 miles on it since I've had it, and it's currently sitting at almost 160,000 miles. This engine is done great, but it's time for an upgrade. So let's get started. Always take the battery out first. First things I always take out when dropping the motor on one of these cars is the battery and the air intake. They're 2 really large pieces that open up the engine bay a lot and make it a lot easier to disconnect stuff on the engine. With our battery and intake removed, we can really see that it completely opens up the engine bay and we can see everything that we need to take out. Now these engines are pretty easy to take out and there's not a lot of stuff to disconnect. We have our top hat bolts, we have shifter cables, we have our throttle cable, we have some vacuum lines, we have the C500 wiring over there, we have the main bulkhead wiring that's right here. We have a couple miscellaneous wiring things around the engine bay. We have the heater core lines. I might be missing something else, but that is the main gist, and we're gonna find other stuff along the way. But let's tear this thing apart some more. Up next, we're gonna take off our shift cables, which should be really easy. I'm just gonna take off the retainer first. And with the cables out of the way, the last thing holding this in is this clip. All right, cables are free. I really do not want to take off the clutch line because I don't really want to have to re-bleed it. So I'm just going to take off the entire slave cylinder so then I do not have to bleed it again. Easy as that. Next, I'm gonna do the fuel lines, which are located down here. We have 2 of them. There's one cracked loose. Did I get it? Yep, there's the other one cracked loose. Oh boy. Yep, I'm leaking fuel. Oh, whoops, sorry. And fuel lines disconnected. I got fuel all over my hands. Okay, shifter cable's off. Slave cylinder off. Air intake out. Catch can out, wiring unplugged over there, vacuum lines out, all the wiring out over here, fuel lines off. I guess I can do coolant lines now. Those are fun, right? No, they are not fun. I guess now would be a good time to remove my airlines too. Exhaust hangers off. Last thing we have to do is the computer on the inside. With the computer removed, you have two plugs at the bottom. They are held in with these metal clips. All you have to do is pull the clips up, and then the plugs come right out, just like that. Now your computer's removed. You can move that to the side because you won't be needing that anymore. And now you have the entire harness right here. There's another plug at the bottom, and then you have this retaining clip, and then push it on the side like that. The whole harness pops right through the firewall. Now with all the plugs and everything disconnected on the interior of the car, we can take our main harness right here and we can start pulling it out. And there we go. Our harness is out. Okay, the only thing holding the cradle in now are these 4 cradle bolts. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Now we just need to take these off. Now these can be a pain in the butt to take out if you've never taken your cradle out before. Now if you want to see me struggle and actually have to cut an access hole in here and get this back one out, then watch the video of me dropping my engine out the first time. I've had this out multiple times, so I have new cradle bolts up here, so these should come out pretty easily. Sweet. I have the rear cradle supported on jack stands, and I'm gonna try and see if these rear cradle bolts will loosen up easy. They should, because they were out a year ago, but you never know. Yep, no problem there. We are ready to take this engine out. We have everything disconnected down here: air lines, brake calipers, the coolant lines. This is the clutch line, that's disconnected as well. The cradle bolts are loose. Everything up here is disconnected. The throttle cable, my shift cables, the whole wiring harness, the vacuum lines are disconnected. Heater lines are disconnected. There is more wiring over here that's disconnected. The fuel lines are disconnected as well. I still need to take these top hat bolts off, but I'm gonna do that after I have the cradle supported on a dolly. But yeah, let's get this thing out. Try it. Well, the engine is out. And I only forgot one thing to take off, and that was the vacuum line on the brake booster. But other than that, it went smooth and I had no issues at all. So here she sits, the crusty and dusty 2.8. I have to get the engine and trans off of here. I want to wipe down the cradle and I want to clean up the transmission. Basically everything I'm going to reuse, I want to clean up. But first, I want to tackle the engine bay because this video is about getting the car ready for the engine. Now, I did paint this engine bay 2 winters ago when I did all of the rust repair, but it is very dusty and it is full of leaves. So I want to give this thing a quick wipe down. Let's get this thing all cleaned up. Engine bay is looking a bit better. It's just wiped down. You know, there's still some dust, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Here's a bunch of stuff that I ripped out. I have whatever this heat shield thing is that goes on the trunk wall. I have the trunk wall vacuum lines that go there. I have the blowers that would blow on the 2.8 alternator and coil. And I have this long heater hose I don't really know for sure if I'm not going to use any of this stuff, but I don't believe I am. So here's how the engine bay is looking. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think that that's going to wrap up this video. So thank you for watching. We made a ton of progress in this episode, getting the old drivetrain out and also cleaning up the engine bay for the swap. In the next episode, we should be tearing off the 2.8 off the cradle and hopefully mounting up the 3.8 to the get drag and bolting it down onto the cradle and maybe putting it in the car. We'll have to see. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. See you later.